He says to his young student Timothy, "Command and teach these things. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. Until I come, devote yourself to the public reading of Scripture, to exhortation, and to teaching. Do not neglect the gift that you have, which was given you by prophecy when the council of elders laid their hands on you. Practice these things. Immerse yourself in them so that all may see your progress. Keep a close watch on yourself and on the teaching. Persist in this, for by so doing you will save both yourself and your hearers." As I read these words and I take in this understanding, I've got in my mind our young people that were out this week. And I'm proud to say that in a lot of instances, when people go to conferences, they go to be entertained and they go to be amused and they go to have a good time. And I'm sure they probably did all of those things. But one of the things that comes to me is that those are designed to equip our young people to come back into the church and to take positions of leadership, and to assume positions of ministry within the congregation. And I look at our group that went, and I'm proud to say those young people do that already. They fill invaluable positions within the church, with our camping programs, with our children's programs. And I'm thankful that we have young people who are willing to stake their life on the claims of Christ. And I'm thankful for a church that's raised them that way. And so at this time I'm going to invite Holton and some of our young people up, and they're going to share and lead us through the rest of our service. At the conclusion, then we will have our congregational meeting. So Holton, will you bring your minions up and share with us this morning, please?
Yeah. Just as Madeline and Cody are going to come up in a moment and just kind of share their favorite part or whatever they have in store, just to give a little information on what we've done. We've gone to Passion, and it's held actually it was held this year in the Atlanta Falcons, an NFL football team. It was held in their dome, and there were about 50,000 college students there. And while we're there, there are some of the biggest Christian preachers, such as Louis Giglio, Francis Chan, John Piper, Christine Kane. Maybe you've heard of Beth Moore, who's wrote some books. They were all there speaking to us. And then there were the large worship bands and Christian bands such as David Crowder, Hillsong, the Passion Band. And so all these people come in for college students. And so I'm going to have Madeline and Cody to go ahead both come on up. And I'm going to let them speak. I told them anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes would be good. Yeah, Cody said he thought I said seconds. And they're just going to kind of share what was their favorite part. We'll let Cody go first.
I'm not sharing on this?
Yep. Cool. Unless you want to stand next to me and talk to my microphone.
So, besides Carrie Underwood singing me specifically a song, she did make a surprise appearance, and that was awesome. That was definitely a plus of going. But I really enjoyed listening to Francis Chan. I don't know if you guys watch any of his videos. He puts out lots of Bible study videos and books and whatnot. But he's just a great thinker. Puts out a lot of good studies and whatnot. And he spoke out of Isaiah. Actually spoke out of a lot of books. But Isaiah was the one that really resonated with me. It's Isaiah 55. And he talked about how God's ways are so much higher than our ways. And God's thoughts are so much higher than our thoughts. And he challenged us. He said, every day you have two options. You can either get up and continue with your day thinking, what you want to think, thinking how you want to think, what you want to do. Basically, you choose your own path. Or you can get up every day and seek God's will in your life. Seek what God thinks. Seek what He wants for you. And so that's just such an awesome challenge, that we have the opportunity to seek a creator that created us, that's given us this awesome life. And we also got to Skype with an astronaut. So that's kind of cool. He was up in the International Space Station, and so Francis Chan spoke right after that. And so just knowing, that God created all of this, and that we have the chance to personally, seek that relationship with Him and seek what He wants in our lives, it's just an awesome reminder and an awesome challenge going into this new year. I can sit?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're bandaged. Considerably shorter. On the very first night we got there, Christine Kane was the speaker, and Crowder sang after, but I'm going to talk about Christine Kane, I guess. And when we got there, she's had a long sermon. It was really good. If you want to watch it, it's actually on YouTube. All of the sermons are. If you want to watch Francis Chan, Beth Moore, any of those, it's all on YouTube. But she said, millennials are put out to be, there's no Christians left in this world. We're in bad shape. But she said, you're surrounded by 50,000 other millennials that are here to spend their weekend with God. How amazing. We have a future. So that was very comforting that we don't need to be afraid. We're going to be okay. If we spread out and do our job, we're going to be all right. Then after, Crowder sang, do you want me to talk about this? Or?
Go for it.
Okay. So Cody was supposed to talk about this, but when Crowder came up to sing, it was amazing. We love Crowder. He's great. But in the middle, Carrie Underwood was out there, and we didn't know it yet because she was singing in the background. Everybody was like, hey, that background singer is a really good singer. And then the next song, it was Carrie Underwood, and we were like, what? How in the world did she get to Passion? But yeah, it was really amazing, and lots of other amazing people there, and good times. So that's all I can say.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. Madeline was majorly downplaying the reaction whenever Carrie Underwood came on stage. You could have heard Cody screaming 2 miles away, I'm pretty sure. Just such a beautiful voice she has. No, but we had such an amazing time at Passion. This is my third year going. 3 years ago, I went by myself with just one friend. Last year we took about 20, and this year we took about 15 people down. We had a group of 16 college-age students, high school seniors from Fairfield, Illinois, who went to Passion, drove all the way to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, just to spend a weekend and worship. Well, it wasn't a weekend. Spend 3 days and worship God. And that's kind of mind-boggling, and it's crazy. Kind of what Madeline was saying is what I want to talk about as well, about how there were so many people here. I actually have a couple videos I took just to kind of show you how many people were truly here. So at this time, I'm just going to have Derek play these 2 videos. They're 10 seconds each or so. Those aren't great video qualities. You can see why I'm doing this and not wedding photography or something. But those are just to show you truly how many people were here. Over 55,000 people in attendance. Figure in some leaders, I'm sure, some older people who maybe were sneaking in because they weren't college kids but wanted to come still. Guarantee you there are at least 50,000 college students coming from all around America, all around the world. There were people from Canada. I'm sure there were people that flew in from other countries to worship God for 3 days. And as Madeline was talking about Christine Kane, as she mentioned, college students, millennials, they don't really have a good rap for being great Christians. And that's nothing that I've never thought before. I don't think college Christians have this great feel. Oftentimes when we think of college students, we think of them going off to college and doing whatever they want and not behaving, surely, and getting into all sorts of trouble. And then I show up to Atlanta, Georgia with 50,000 college students to worship, and it blows me away. Got a psalm I want to read. Psalm 118, 22 through 24. The stone the builders rejected has become the capstone. The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. The stone the builders have rejected. That makes me think of the college students. Because we send us off to college, we send us off to wherever. High school seniors getting ready for college. We're not supposed to be the spiritual leaders in the world. We're known as the ones who go off and make stupid mistakes, just college kids being college kids. But getting to sing with Chris Tomlin and 50,000 college students, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever got to do. It is so amazing to me, and it doesn't make sense to me how all of a sudden 50,000 college students just show up in Atlanta for this. It doesn't make sense to the Chick-fil-A down the road either. They were pretty concerned. But it's mind-boggling, and it doesn't make sense. And the only thing I can come up with is, how do all these people, when they go off to their own college, how do colleges have such a bad rep when they're so willing to come to this? And I've come to the conclusion that when God's in charge, things don't have to make sense to me. God doesn't really care if it makes sense to me, I don't think. We just need to be patient with God and see what He's doing. And so this weekend, I keep calling it a weekend. It was a 3-day event in the middle of the week. I don't know why they planned that, but I'll probably refer to it a weekend more again. So this week's events, there was Carrie Underwood. There were some of the biggest speakers. There were all these people. John Piper, who's an older gentleman, I'm not sure if many of you know John Piper, kind of makes me think almost of Bernie Sanders, and he talks like he's got a little bit of saliva in his mouth or so, and can't understand him sometimes, I'm not going to lie. And my first year at Passion, he was there, and I kind of caught about 3 words. My second year I was there, I caught about a little bit more, and this year I thought I caught a lot more, so I got about 10% of his sermon down this year. But what I caught was he was talking about the essence of sin, the ultimate essence of sin. And where does sin originate? And he broke it all the way back down to Adam and Eve. And he said that the ultimate essence of sin are people not enjoying God anymore. Adam and Eve wanted to eat more fruit because what God had given them was no longer good enough for them. They wanted more. And as I was sitting there, I just looked around and saw 50,000 people enjoying God. And it is just one of the best things ever to look around and to see 50,000 of your peers fully enjoying God. To look around and see members of our church. We had, I believe, 4 from here, 5 including me go. 5 people from our church go. Maybe 6. I think 6. There were 6 of us. And as I looked around, I'm just going to keep making up numbers now. Madeline's laughing at me. There were 50 of us. 6. I can't count. There were 6 of us from our church there. And as I looked around, I could see us enjoying it. I could see the other driver who drove down the other van with us from Lebanon North. Although he had to get up at 8 o'clock and we had to leave early and we didn't get there till 7 o'clock and we had to drive all the way down there in traffic that was crazy. I could see him enjoying it. I could see our students who went to bed at a reasonable hour, I'm sure, enjoying it. And that gives me hope. Like Christine Kane was saying, the church isn't going anywhere. It's going to be just fine. God is on the throne. He's already won the throne. Victory has been made. And so with that, I have hope. And I just want to thank the church. Because without the church's support, some of these college students wouldn't have been able to go. It cost probably about $200 to get each person down there and back. And our church was able to say, hey, we'll help support our college students to get them there. And so I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being faithful to our church and supporting our church. Because without the generation of you guys, the generation of us wouldn't be here today, and they wouldn't be here tomorrow. So with that said, I'm going to close with a prayer. Jeff's going to close with a prayer in a minute. I want to pray. I'm going to pray. I can pray. I've got the microphone. Let's say a prayer real fast. God, I thank you for who you are, and I thank you for, Lord, the 50,000 that were in attendance at Passion. And I thank you so much, Lord, for impacting everyone's lives. And Lord, I thank you for those who were saved and those who were just revived and refreshed with your Spirit, Lord. I ask that you be with those that are in this church that went, Lord. Allow us to continue that. Allow us to continue that atmosphere of worship and that spirit of you inside of us, Lord. Be with our church. Be with our elders. Be with our members, Lord. Allow them to guide us, guide these college students into life and show them the way, Lord. I pray this in your name. Amen.